Yes, sir. I like that guy. I like that already. Shout out to that Barbie.
Absolutely.
All right, Sean, go ahead.
All right, Chief. What is the most important piece of your campaign platform?
The most important piece is restoring individual freedom and liberty back to the citizens of Washington State, getting our government off our back, reducing regulations, reducing taxes, and freeing the American people. That's what a government's role is. Like I said earlier, Article 1, Section 1, the main job of the government is to protect citizens' rights.
Absolutely.
In respect to that, what you just said, sir, we're clearly seeing some heinous time right now with the whole George Floyd thing, which is just an outrage.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that there's a way to unite everybody? I mean,
yeah, I think my feeling is most of the citizens of Washington State are united in agreeing that the person and people involved in killing George Floyd need justice. They need swift and harsh justice. There's no doubt about that. Citizens are united in that. What they're not united in is this small criminal element that is using these protests to wreak havoc in our communities, to burn down businesses, to hurt people. That's what we're not united on. I mean, we are united on that. We're not united on damaging businesses and causing fires and chaos. There's a small criminal element that's using that to do that and to create havoc. And I think for the most part, Washington's citizens are united.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, the best way to unite them is obviously what happened. Those police officers were arrested by police officers, right? I've been in law enforcement for 10 years. I was sickened to watch that. No one is trained to do that. That's not in anybody's policy. The man was on the ground and he held his knee on his neck for 8 to 10 minutes. That there's no tactic ever taught to do that to someone. And so I'm glad to see that they were arrested and sent to jail. So I think that everyone's united in that, and I'd like to point out too, there's a man named David Dorn from St. Louis. He was about 70 years old. He's a retired police officer, a retired police chief, 35 years serving his community. And he's a black man. And he was standing outside a business in St. Louis when the rioters and the looters came. And he tried to protect that business. And they shot him. And he fell to the ground on the sidewalk while they're continuing to break into the business he was trying to protect and started running out with stuff. There was a person who came to his aid who just happened to be live on Facebook or Twitter, one or the other, and captured David Dorn dying, bleeding out on the sidewalk while these guys were running all over the place, looting it. Where's the outrage?
Yeah.
Where's the outrage on that?
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
100%.
It's right here.
Yeah.
The world itself is exploding. That powder keg that the African American community has been dealing with for a long time. It has always been a powder keg, has always been an issue, a hotbed. Why can't they be free from this? And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking for, a mother should never have to bury their child. And that's what's happening right now. You see.
Absolutely.
It's just horrifying.
It's tragic.
And a lot of us.
I have a question though.
Go ahead, Jason.
The man that had the knee on George Floyd was an 18-year veteran. And you have a unique perspective on that. Do you think that he learned that it was easier to do that over the course of time and through failure of retraining, or is it just something he did because it was easier and quicker? I guess I'm asking.
Well, easier and quicker to do what? I mean, the man was handcuffed on the ground. There were multiple officers around. I think that probably, you know, without looking at his personnel file, I would venture to guess that it was a lack of leadership and oversight, and he got away with things over the years.
Right.
You know, that's just me looking from the outside, making an educated guess on it.
Right. He was the senior officer on the scene. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
Man.
And from what I've read, apparently they knew each other.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah. I
Yeah.
read that too. They
Yeah.
worked together at a security
Yeah.
club or something like that. Some kind of
Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. It's horrifying there, Chief.
Absolutely.
So switching gears. I don't mean to just switch, but I appreciate the time I have with you, and there's lots of things I want to learn.